Hey, what's up? Welcome to episode 49 of a weekly gaming news show. I'm Todd. We're here with Trenell, as always.
What's going on, everybody?
We'll go over the weekend gaming news. I think I got that out okay.
Yeah, that was better. That was better. We're still working on it.
Gotta get some practice in, right?
Yeah. So we are here, episode 49. It is the May the 21st, and we're going to go ahead and get into our top 5 news stories for the week. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and get started with the weekly icebreaker. What's up? We got a couple corrections. Oh, it's been a while since we did those.
Oh yeah.
We must have messed up real bad last time. What happened?
No, we didn't really mess up. We just got a couple updates, actually.
Oh, updates. Okay.
Yeah, the first one is Project Rap Rabbit. The developers pulled down their Kickstarter stretch goals because the internet spoke and said those stretch goals were quite honestly bullshit. So they down and they said they're going to look into funding and re-examine all of their stretch goals. So those are down off of Kickstarter and look forward to hearing what they have planned out. The biggest complaint was the $4.9 million or $4.5 million to get it onto Switch, the Switch console. There were also minor complaints about the extra $1 million to get it onto Xbox One. So they took it down and they're going to examine it and get back to us. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, definitely a good thing, and I'm glad that these guys are taking their fans' criticisms directly to heart, because they could have just been like, hey, well, this is all that you're gonna get, but going back, reevaluating, and probably lessening some of those higher stretch goals for the multi console releases is probably where it's gonna change the most, in my opinion.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll see what they do with that, and hopefully they get it sorted out here.
Yeah, what's next?
The other one was FCC. We talked about the net neutrality last week in our long form, and they voted 2-1 to change the net neutrality rules. They have open comments. So you can go back to the FCC website, put your comments in there. Don't tweet because apparently Ajit Pai is not going to pay attention to anybody's tweets. So go to the FCC website, and I'll put a link to get you directly to the comment page in the show notes. But go to the link and go and voice your concerns, your opinion. I mean, whether it's for or against, that's it's up to you. But
it's
still, make your voice be heard.
Right. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the weekly icebreaker. And if you're new to the podcast, you don't know what the weekly icebreaker is. It is a question that we ask of each other at the very beginning of every show to get a sense of where we are on primarily certain gaming topics, but sometimes we like to fly off the handle and talk about like movies or comic books. But this week we're going to keep it video game oriented, and I want to talk about the $60 price point and if it's even still a thing. Like, do you even get what you're paying for anymore with the initial purchase? And we'll elaborate on this more in the long form, but I just kind of want to get a general sense of where you are on this particular topic. So what do you think about the $60 price point and whether or not it's you get what you pay for?
It's just no and yes. I mean, it just depends. I mean, some companies and publishers are horrible with it, Activision, EA, and some companies are not, Blizzard and others. Blizzard comes straight to mind because Overwatch, pretty much all of the Overwatch content is free. You pay $60 for it. You just pay for loot boxes. Another one that's,
if you want to,
right?
You can't just grind for them.
Right, it's true. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like, it seems to me as if they raised the price of games without actually raising the price of games.
Yeah, and as for me, I agree with that. I do think that without raising the base price, the $60, they've increased it by adding on the season pass and DLC. That without that stuff kind of just leaves you with this fragmented experience. And in some instances, I'm gonna go with the previous generation of Street Fighter 4. If you didn't get the upgrade, you couldn't play online with those people. Like if you had the vanilla Street Fighter 4 and then like they upgraded to Super, you were playing a version that didn't have any updates, and there was no like cross compatibility with those two versions at all. So I do think that they have raised the price without actually like increasing the base. But I do think that there are some games that give you like way more game than I could possibly even imagine for $60.
For $60. I mean,
Right.
one of the we both have had a blast playing is Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh god,
Yeah.
and I was just talking to you about it, and I was wondering like, hey, is there any like DLC or season pass for this game? And the answer is no.
Right. At least not nothing announced.
Right. So it's like you get. I've been so fulfilled with this game as of late, and just to think that wow, when this is over, there'll be nothing else, and like I'm okay with that. It's different. Not something that I felt in a long time.
You haven't gotten to the ending.
No, I have to beat the game. I have to beat the game. So we're gonna let that slide for now. But yeah, that was our weekly icebreaker. You can submit questions to us via our social media. You can see it down at the bottom of the screen there. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and you can even leave submissions in our YouTube comments. Just use the hashtag weekly icebreaker, and if it's a question that we want to we think it deserves an answer, we'll be more than happy to answer that question live on the stream. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into the next segment, which is our top 5 news stories. And first up, we talk about my boy. Because man, I honestly don't know how I feel about this, like truly. Jeez. Okay, so Sega just released a couple of videos on their official YouTube channel, showcasing the third character for Sonic Forces. There had been a lot of speculation as to who it was going to be or what the gameplay type was going to be, and it turns out it's going to be your own original character.
That's super interesting.
It is because what a lot of people don't know, and oh god, when you think of the Sonic fandom, you probably think of two majority groups. You have the ones that like the classics, and then you have the ones that like the modern games. But honestly, there's a third fandom. It is ones that like to draw Sonic characters and like to create fan fictions of themselves in the Sonic universe. There's probably more Sonic fan fiction and artwork than any other single franchise on the internet. I believe. I feel strongly about that.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And it's partly because Sonic hasn't been getting the love in the actual gaming in games.
True. Yeah. This
so
is
people
true.
have to they reach out and they make their own Sonic.
Yeah, they make their own Sonic entertainment, and we talked about the fan games, and because of the fan game community, we now have Sonic Mania, which is being developed by old school hackers of the the original Sonic games. So they're bringing in an entirely new fandom, and showing those guys appreciation, and in a similar way that Mario gave players control using level creation. Instead, Sega's going to give players control with the character creation. And judging by the trailer, there's going to be multiple different animal races or species that you can be. And they did show off a couple of power-ups, mainly the grappling hook and a flamethrower. And the character seems to play like a mixture of the modern 2D and 3D sections or whatnot. And they also, showed that it's going to be coming out in holiday 2017. I think they had already stated that though. But yeah, very very interesting.
Yeah.
I was a little taken back at first. I was like, is this the best idea? Like I don't know. Just being a part of the fandom, I was just like, this could turn out to be like super cringy.
But any game, especially a game that has the lore and the fan base and the rabid fan base that they really have, that allows people to customize, is going to be uber popular. It's one thing to play with Sonic. It's another thing to play with your own character in the Sonic world. And I mean, people, I know a lot of people that play these games, especially people that usually play the RPG games. They love customization and being able to get in and do your own customization, your own character, the look, the feel, weapons, equipment, and stuff. That's actually is going to be really cool. It's really cool, and I think
the thing is they're marketing Sonic games primarily towards kids, and kids are going to eat this crap up.
Yep,
they're going to eat it up. I'm probably going to create like basic to Basic the Rabbit. just be a regular ass dude with no backstory. But yeah, yo, if you are anything into like the deviant art scene, like those guys were going fucking insane. They were going insane because these people that have created these avatars that they've been drawing and creating art for years, they're now going to be able to, supposedly make them a reality inside there of an official Sonic game. So yeah, that's definitely something to look forward to. I'm still looking forward to the game. I'm gonna be playing the hell out of it. Basic the Rabbit coming real soon.
Basic the Rabbit. That's awesome.
That's his name, yo. But yeah, that's not all the news that we have coming out of Sega. There was something else that was revealed. And Boogie, why don't you elaborate on that a little bit?
So they had their earnings call. Sega Sammy. They had their earnings call, and in this earnings call, they released a plan. They called it the Road to 2020. I think is what they called it, and basically what they're planning to do is there's a many steps, but one of the most noticeable one is that they were going to bring back old IPs. Now they didn't mention which IPs they were planning to bring back. So that's up in the air, but I'm excited about it. I like Sega. Sega has some good IPs outside of just Sonic. Yeah. And I'll be interested to see what they bring back. I mean, we talked about this a couple of times before. Vector Man comes up a lot.
Oh, God, Vector Man. The thing is, I don't even know if Sega owns Vector Man. I don't know who owns that character, but there was actually a poll that was done. I'm gonna say it was last year, and by that I mean like in 2016, there was an actual poll that was done to rate certain franchises, and I think that was kind of like a base for what they're going to be trying to do with this Road to 2020. Some of the franchises that I would like to see is, of course, Streets of Rage. I really think that with the reinsurgence of the 2D, kind of like 16 bit gameplay style, they could definitely go with another Streets of Rage without trying to modernize it. Back in the day when they did try to make a Streets of Rage 4, there was a lot of ideas being turned around. It was kind of like the turn of the gaming landscape with everybody transitioning to 3D, and Streets of Rage was just never realized in a 3D space. So I really think that they can come out with a 2D Streets of Rage and really make something special, especially if they reach out to the fandom. Because like we talked about before, one of my favorite fan games is one called Streets of Rage Remake, which was built from the ground up using a custom engine, and it was actually shut down toward the end of its cycle. It was Sega put out the cease and desist letter. So I feel like if they were to reach out to those guys or anybody who's passionate about these franchises and would definitely do it justice the same way that they're doing Sonic Mania, I really think that they can come up with some really cool stuff that a lot of people would definitely purchase. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Sega had. I mean, Sega back in the 90s they were huge, and they had a lot of great games. They had good systems. And they made a couple of mistakes, and it cost them dearly. And for them to just to come back, see what they have, I'm really interested. I'm excited, and I really want to see what they have.
Yeah. I'll definitely be waiting and anticipating to see which franchises that they try to bring, because I feel like they went for a really big revival push during like the original Xbox PS2 era. They had like Altered Beast that came out. Some other ones. I think they tried to do another like Skies of Arcadia or like a spiritual successor to that franchise, and of course all of the changes that went on with Sonic or whatnot. But a lot of those went either unnoticed or they just were just bad games. I think I think there was an Altered Beast, and I believe that there was a Golden Axe game, both for the original Xbox and PS2. And both of those were very, very poorly received. Yeah. Oh, yeah,
I remember the Golden Axe. I think that was an Xbox Live. It was an arcade game. It was fully developed, but one of them was an arcade game.
Which one?
I kind of remember.
Axe, you say?
I think so. I know they had them in the arcade. Maybe they just brought the originals back.
No, Golden Axe Beast Rider was a 360 game. Sorry. Yeah, that was a 360 game.
360 game?
And then
I could have sworn it had something in the arcade.
Was Altered Beast a 360 game? I believe they came up with one on the Xbox or something.
Oh no, they did the Vintage Collection that had the original games.
Okay.
Okay, I knew I saw one of them I saw them in the arcade at one point.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah. They definitely re-released them. I'm talking about like actual brand
new games,
new additions to the franchise. But we'll see what happens. I'm definitely excited. You know, I've always been a Sega fanboy at heart, so anything that Sega can come out with that, you know, doesn't just fall flat on its face is going to be okay with me. And you know, as Fry from Philip J. Fry from Futurama said, "Shut up and take my money." Like I am ready. So let's go ahead and jump into the next story. What do we have next, book?
All right, so this is straight out of my heart. Destiny 2. So they did on Thursday. They did Bungie did a live stream. It was an hour show release reveal. And you know, they showed off Destiny 2 was coming. The game comes out in September. I for one, I can't say I was super impressed with what they had to show.
Okay.
But with that said, what they had to show was interesting. It's not that I don't know. I need my hands on. I need hands on. They did show the 3 classes: Warlock, Titan, and Hunter. The Hunter now, he has, remember the Hunter had the arc blade. Now he has a spear instead of a blade. The Titan, I actually super dislike the Titan because he's ultimately a purple Captain America now. I don't like that. It's odd. Because I mean, I see what they're trying to go with, but no thank you. And then the Warlock, he does, or the Warlock now does a flying flaming axe. So they kind of fly and they throw fire out of a flaming axe. I wasn't impressed with those aspects. What I was impressed with was the gunplay. The gunplay looks super solid. Okay. They redid the way the weapons work, where before you had your primary, secondary, and heavy. Your heavy and your secondary got elemental burns, and at some point in the game, like during the raids and some exotics, the primaries got elemental burns. The way they changed the weapons now, you have your primary. I think you have a kinetic, you have an energy weapon, and then you have a heavy weapon or high damage weapon. And the high damage is stuff like for snipers, rocket launchers, machine guns, grenade launchers. And then like your kinetic and primary weapons are typically your handguns, like auto rifles, hand cannons, pulse rifles, that type of thing. So it's interesting what they have coming up in it. I mean, the beta comes out in this summer. If you pre-order the game, you get access to the beta. So I'll be able to play it. One other really interesting thing that came out is the Crucible, which is their PvP mode. Okay. So they have a couple of Crucible modes. They have normally the 6 versus 6, which is your normal clash, team deathmatch. Control, which is like capture the point. And this one called Rift, which is their take on capture the flag. So they moved that from 6-on-6 to 4-on-4. And it looks like it's just going to be 4-on-4 period. They didn't mention anything about 3-on-3 because they have a 3-on the premier mode, which is Trials of Osiris, is 3-on-3. They didn't mention what Trials was going to be, but they just said PvP would now go from 6-on-6 to 4-on-4. So I don't know what that means for Trials or some of the other 3-on-3 modes, skirmish and elimination. Right. But that's the way they're going with it. They invited influencers and some of the big people in the Destiny community to go to play the game. I don't know. Like I said, I need to put my hands on it before I can really come to a full decision or opinion on it.
Right. See, my thing with Destiny and with Bungie games in general is like they've never like disappointed in the actual like gunplay department as far as I'm concerned. I mean, all of the Halo games, like, you know, I've always, you know, been able to have fun with them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even when I did play Destiny for the limited amount of time that I did play it, it was a fun game. It was very solid. I'm just not an MMO type guy, and that
Right.
game was primarily an MMO. You know,
Right.
you're grinding, you're going to these, events and the raids and whatnot. I just didn't have the time to invest into staying with my team,
Mm-hmm.
or with you, I should say. I remember we were playing together for a while, and
Right.
I think when me and you started playing that together, you were running back with your second character, and
Right.
then by the time I had dropped off for a while, that second character was already caught up with your first character. It was no way I was going back in there. I was like, I'm not gonna have you start this game all over again.
Yeah, but you see, the thing with Destiny is you wouldn't have had to have me start over. And the thing with, unlike Division, where we tried to bring you up and it scaled and was unfun for you,
Yeah.
Destiny didn't scale that way. So I can go back and do the early level missions with you, and I would just destroy crap, and it wouldn't be hard for you. It would be a challenge,
A moderate challenge, yeah.
Right, but you'll still be able to survive. You won't be getting one hit killed like you were like in Division.
Right.
Another thing they did mention is that they've expanded the story. They've made it more cinematic, and they've made the story more involved.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, like you're going through the world now, you'll be able to interact with NPCs in the world that's doing stuff. So it's interesting. I'm still excited about the game. I just don't feel like I said, I don't
like
have
the hype train hasn't landed at Boogie Town yet.
No, it's not. It hasn't. It's not here yet.
Okay.
Like I said, when I get my hands on it, I'll probably form a better opinion. But until then, from what I've seen, it hasn't chased me away. It hasn't said, "Look, this isn't the game I want." It still looks like Destiny, the game I've played for like the past 3 or 4 years, however long it's been out. And it's like 3-4 years going on in September. The game I played, I put tons of hours in it, rated and trials and all that other good stuff. So, and I still play it now from time to time. But yeah, it's coming out, and be ready, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it yet. It's all gonna depend on what I'm currently playing, whether or not, because I'm right now I'm honestly not playing any shooters. So Destiny could be like my shooter for when it comes out, because I'm currently not playing any other ones.
And then just a couple other points. The first point is on PC for the first time, so you'll be able to play it on PC.
Crossplay?
They didn't say. And they did also. I thought maybe it had a chance to be one of the Play Anywhere games, but they put the kibosh on that when they said you'll only be able to get it through Battle.net.
Okay.
This is Battle.net. It's not even going to be on Steam. You got to get it through Battle.net. So I don't know why. I'm assuming they did that because they want to keep all the money. Activision.
Well, yeah.
So,
that paper.
But yeah. So there's that, and then also. There's rumors, or there's actually not rumors, it's been confirmed that on the PlayStation 4 Pro, which they actually, everybody that played it at the event were playing on PlayStation 4 Pros, it's not running at 60 frames per second on 4K. It's 4K 30. So, and the developer came out and said the PlayStation is not powerful enough.
Damn.
He quite literally said the machine is not powerful enough.
Damn.
So there's that. That's not a good look for a PlayStation 4 Pro.
No, not at all.
But it's at least it is in 4K. I mean, one of the big complaints about Destiny was that it was running at 30 frames per second. So that's not going to go away apparently.
Damn. Well, we'll see what happens. Yeah, we talked about that. Back when the PS4 Pro came out, how it just was too early, and it's gonna prove to be inferior once the Scorpio comes out.
Yeah, it was rushed. I think it was one of those things where they wanted to be first to the market. We're the first true 4K system, and the games that I played on it that's in 4K, Horizon and 2K17, they look beautiful. It's great, but their rush is causing them a problem.
Yeah.
And the problem now is, are they going to obsolete the PlayStation 4 Pro in 2 years and come out with something else to try to keep up?
That's That doesn't seem like. I mean, it seems like it's necessary, but it's like, damn, y'all just came out with the Pro, and now you're already thinking about another modular upgrade.
Yeah, they won't be getting my money.
No, I'm good. Dude, the only thing that they could have had was HDR, and I have that on my OG PlayStation 4. So, yep. I mean, the only thing I really need right now is hard drive space. That's the only thing I need. And they put in the USB hard drive support. So
yep.
Again, I'm good.
Yep,
I'm good. I honestly haven't noticed or been super disappointed with my frame rates on the OG PlayStation. So I'm okay.
Right.
It doesn't kill me.
And I didn't hear or I didn't see anything where what the game was running at on Xbox One or PlayStation in standard 1080, if it's 1080 60 or not.
Okay.
That'd be interesting. Maybe it's sometime we're gonna look. I'll look into that because I'm actually now kind of interested to see if it's running 1080 60 or if it's 1080 30 as well.
Right. So what console are you planning on getting it on? That's my question.
Xbox.
Xbox. Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting on Xbox because I'm in a clan. The clan is Xbox clan. They're gonna move on to Destiny. I still have other friends that's outside the clan that play on Xbox. I didn't play on PlayStation. It'd be me starting over.
Right.
Will you be not starting over from the beginning, but starting over with building my community that I play with.
Yeah. What about bringing over, is there any kind of save data, you bring over your data or anything like that?
Just your character customization, all of your gear is gone. And I mean, it's pretty obvious why. It's not going to fit in the way they set up the game anymore.
Right.
The way the changes they made to the guns. They showed armor, they showed images of the armor. They didn't necessarily show how it worked, how it's changed, as far as stats and the perks that's included in armor. That wasn't noted. At least I didn't see it. But my guess is that's changed the same way the weapons have changed, and it's not compatible with what they had in the first version of the game.
Right, but your character and how he looks, and all that stuff is going to be carried over.
Yeah, you can bring.
That's cool. That's cool. All right, so you want to go ahead and move on to the next story?
Yep.
It's been a long time since we talked about Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny. Yeah,
that's your jam. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next story. And that is Ubisoft. They have released a statement with a lot of news.
Yes.
And one of them I'm actually really excited about, but we'll go down the list here. First off, what we got, Boogie?
So first off, they announced Far Cry 5.
Far Cry 5. And
it's coming out before end of fiscal year 2017, which is March 31st. So the fiscal year is in the last day of March.
Right.
So for those, I don't know why they do it that way.
Yeah, me neither.
But it's just the way the fiscal years work. It goes from April to March. But that's coming out. And then they also announced that South Park, The Fractured But Whole, which we've been waiting for 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be out before the end of before the end of the fiscal year 2017. And a new Assassin's Creed game will also be out.
Ooh.
And remember, they took a year off because they had a debacle. And then they released a good game that nobody knew about because
it just went underlooked.
Right. And so they have that. And then apparently there's a new IP they were working on. They actually kind of teased it in Watch Dogs in the video. And it was odd the way they did it because they teased it in a mission and it showed a video of this game in Watch Dogs.
I haven't played Watch Dogs 2, so I have no idea.
It's actually a really fun game. It's significantly better storytelling wise and even gameplay wise than the first one, but I did great. I go back, but that game's been pushed back to fiscal year 2018, which is April 1st through March 31st. April 1st, 2018 through March 31st, 2019. Look for that new IP.
Okay.
So I mean, there's a lot to wrap your hands around. Far Cry 5. I hadn't heard anything before this announcement about Far Cry 5.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I wasn't really keeping my ear to the streets or anything like that. I mean. Usually when they come out with the newest Far Cries, it's either okay, I'm going to get it or I'll pass on this one. I've played just about all of the Far Cries, and then my girlfriend has actually just been loving Far Cry Primal. That was going to be one of the games that I skipped out on, but I mean, I've gotten my hands on it, and it's actually really fun, man. Far Cry, there's some pretty cool open world games, and
right.
I don't know, it's just you can't really go wrong. I think where they went wrong in Far Cry 3 and 4 was the actual characters themselves. Like in Far Cry, I think it was 3 with fucking Brody, whatever the hell his name is. I hated the main character, so I just had a natural bias against that game. And then, but I loved the actual antagonist. The antagonist was actually really good, the bad guy. And then in Far Cry 5, I felt like they were trying to mimic the bad guy from 4.
Oh, boy.
No, I'm sorry. In Far Cry 4, they tried to mimic the bad guy from 3, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't like how that game. I didn't even finish that one. I finished 3. I did not finish 4.
I played the first Far Cry. It was okay. I wasn't that enamored with it. I played maybe a couple of hours of Far Cry 2 and never looked back at any Far Cry games.
Oh man, Far Cry 2 was my jam, dude. I love that game.
I don't know. I just wasn't into it at all. It's just one of those games, and it's one of those things where you would think it's something I should be like, based on the games I like to play, it's something I would be interested in, but I just couldn't get into it. So I've not really followed Far Cry. I've heard good things about Far Cry. Actually, your commentary on Brody, I've heard that a lot.
Brody sucked ass, man.
A character.
I hated him.
A lot of complaints on that. But yeah, I didn't bother.
Yeah, so. No, I mean, I completely understand. I mean, it's a simple premise. I mean, it's an open world game, sandbox style, with simple crafting, capabilities, and it's all in the first person. So it was actually really interesting how they did Primal, because everybody speaks in this like caveman talk. So you can't really dislike or hate or anybody. It made it hard for you to dislike characters because everybody was like pretty much just like, this is like caveman or whatever. Like all of their differences came out in their personality and how they acted. So it was better. It I don't know. I feel like games don't really go for actual character development as hard as they should anymore.
Yeah.
And, with all the dialogue and all that madness, you don't really get to invest in characters.
Right. Yeah, the character-driven stories are far and few between these days. They are far and few between, and that's part of the reason why I loved Horizon, and it's part of the reason why I really enjoyed Watch Dogs too, because the characters were likable and unlikable. There were characters in there that you like. This character, I like this dude, and then there was characters like, this dude is an asshole. Okay. I don't like him, but when you pull those emotions out, it makes you more invested in the game. Yeah. You want to see the guy that you like continue on. You want to see the guy that's an ass get his ass handed to him, right? So it's that type of thing. And yeah, the characters and stories, they make a difference. And the problem, I think, is it's just to push for all of the first person, I'm going to blank face shoot you type deal, and that's where your character development goes away. Yeah. So it is that. And then also, I forgot to mention that they also going to be releasing a Crew 2.
Yeah, the Crew 2.
Which Man. I have the Crew because it was a free XBL game, Xbox Live for Gold. I've never played it. My brother tried to.
I think I have it as well. I don't know. I just never really seen. I don't know. I just never booted it up.
Yeah, my brother tried to get me to play it, and
does he like it?
He said it was good. And I started playing it, and it was just this long cinematic intro. Like after about 3 minutes, I'm like, I'm done. Let's play something else.
Okay.
I didn't get to play. I was like, I'm done. It's too much. I mean, it's a racing game. Why do I need to watch all of this cinematic hullabaloo? Get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a lot of AAA titles that Ubisoft just announced there. Some I'm excited for. Some I'm not. I'm not really excited for the South Park game.
No,
I didn't play the first one, and I haven't really been into South Park since oh man.
Yeah,
this is the early 2000s. Yeah. I've just fell off on South Park.
Yeah, that's for the youngins.
Yeah.
And the Crew 2 definitely not interested, but Assassin's Creed I am. I heard the last Assassin's Creed was really good.
Man, Syndicate is like the best game that I just don't want to play.
They just had it on sale. But they had it on sale on PlayStation, and I didn't want to get it on PlayStation. So I'm hoping they'll put it back. It was on sale on PlayStation for like $20. Damn. Actually, it was like $20 or $30 for if you bought Syndicate and what was the one before that? Revelations? No,
that was the bad one, wasn't it?
No, yeah, the one before Syndicate. That was the broken one, which was Unity. The last Assassin. Yeah, Unity.
Yeah,
that was the last one I bought. if you bought both of those, I think it was like $30 or $35. But again, it was on PlayStation, and I didn't want it on PlayStation. I wanted it on Xbox.
Yeah. I bought Unity when it came out. Was super hyped for it. I wish I had bought because there was a parallel game. There was one that came out on 360.
The last generation game that didn't make it to the current gen.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called. It's like Betrayal or some shit. Like you were an assassin that became a Templar. Yep. But I can't remember what it was called. But then there was Unity that came out on the next gen consoles, and that was a broken mess. I couldn't bring myself to beat it. And then what else? Oh, Syndicate. I actually got Syndicate for free when I got my graphics card.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I have that on PC, and I just have not been, interested in beating it. I mean, it's a fun game. The combat is different, is way different than the rest of them. So it's a solid game. I just haven't really wanted to beat it. So we'll see what they come out with next. It's good when companies take a break, take a step back and actually try to develop something fresh and something new instead of just pushing out the same game in a new location every year.
Yeah, because after Black Flag, man, they really screwed it because Black Flag had Assassin's Creed like way up here, and
yeah, and like I had binge played the entire series starting with 2, so and then playing 2 and going through the whole Ezio saga, I was like, yes, Assassin's Creed is dope, and then 3 was ass, Black Flag was dope, but then Unity was ass, so it was just like,
yeah,
like
exactly. Right, they started that alternate developing crap, and it's the thing. Same thing, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward crap.
Yeah,
but hopefully they get it back on track. Apparently they got it back on track in Unity, but nobody knew about it. But
because nobody cared anymore.
Them taking a year off probably was their best bet because now people are like, there has been Assassin's Creed. I want Assassin's Creed again.
Yeah, I'm craving for it.
Yeah, now that it's gonna come back, maybe hopefully they do it some justice, not like they did last time. But again, like we always say, I give Ubisoft a lot of credit because they're out there trying. They're out there trying. Speaking of Ubisoft, you got to boot up For Honor. There's 2 new characters.
Oh yeah, no, but I can't. We didn't talk about that on the podcast.
Yeah, I forgot. I
forgot. They had like a live stream and everything.
Impromptu story. So
new characters and what? They had some new stages too.
Yes, season 2 of For Honor was released last week. I got the update, and they got 2 new characters: a new knight and a new samurai. Okay. The Vikings didn't get a new character.
They don't need no more. Them motherfuckers is OP, dog. Vikings.
I was messing around with that new knight, and I can't think of what his name is. Dude, I'm crushing on him. He's a beast.
Yo, what you doing after the podcast, dog?
We play For Honor.
All right, so let's get through this story so we can get on it now. Oh, guys. All right, so the next story that we have involves CSGO events coming to Facebook. So what's that all about, Boogie?
So this is really it's actually I'm kind of excited. Not because it's CS:GO. It's because again the esports gaming and esports are becoming big, and everybody knows. If you didn't know, Facebook is big. It's been big pushing the video, but the live video. The live video. We're on Facebook now. But they've been pushing big for content, and they've scored big. CS:GO is what? How old is CS:GO?
Oh my god, dude!
It's older than me. But CS, even though it's old, it's still ultra competitive. It's one of the top e-leagues out there, like esports out there, in CS:GO.
And it's one of the original. This game came out in 2012, dog. God.
Yeah, CS:GO. Yeah, but Counter-Strike is older than that.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. But the thing with CS:GO is it's constantly being upgraded and tweaked, and you've got all the mods and everything else that goes in with it. But basically what's happening, there's going to be 5,500 hours of content streamed live on Facebook Live, with 1,500 hours exclusive content. I guess ESEA, if you go to their go to their Facebook fan page, that's where you'll be able to watch the events. Mm-hmm. They're gonna stream rank S CS:GO matches, which is like top league rank, I guess. Then they got ESL 1 and Masters events, and they're also going to have like a recap show. It's going to show match highlights. It'll show match highlights, and it'll also spotlight top players or newcomers, upcoming players. So up and coming players, not upcoming, up
Right.
and coming
Up
players.
and coming.
Yeah. So that's super interesting because again, I mean, we see stuff on. I was watching the Cavs freaking murk the Celtics the other day, and I saw like 4 or 5 ads of the Street Fighter event that's going to be shown on TBS.
Yep.
So I mean, they got Street Fighters on TBS. You got Madden and FIFA on ESPN. You got CS:GO on Facebook. I think what's the name? The Evo is going to be again back is
on ESPN too. Yeah.
ESPN or is it TNT?
I think Evo was on ESPN too, I believe.
Yeah, so but I mean they're on national broadcast now, national cable networks now. I mean, and it seems to only be growing. I mean, we talked about last week about Overwatch and their craziness, but
yeah.
But I mean, esports is projected to be $1 billion industry, and everybody's trying to get in on the bottom floor.
Yeah, it just it seems to be like no ceiling when it comes to the potential that the esports has as an industry. It seems to only be growing more and more.
Right. I'm excited. Again, not necessarily excited because I don't care about CS:GO.
Right.
I'm just excited that where it's going, how it's moving forward. The whole esports scene and the fact that it's being recognized and it's being legitimized, essentially.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Is this an exclusive deal for CS:GO though?
They're gonna have 1,500 hours that's exclusive to Facebook. So It's 5,500 hours in total. 1,500 of those exclusive to Facebook. So 4,000 of those hours will be broadcast elsewhere or video accessed elsewhere, whereas 1,500 hours of the video.
Yeah, because I remember I was on vacation and I saw freaking CS:GO on TBS and I was like, wait, like this ain't Twitch. Like I didn't have my computer or anything, so I was like, wait, what is this doing on my TV? This looks like something that belongs on Twitch or something.
Yeah, I mean, legitimacy all the way up there, right?
Yeah, they up there. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the last story. What we got? Your favorite company.
I'm gonna let you talk about this one.
You gonna let me talk about this one? Okay, so when did it go down?
I have issues with these guys this week. I'm not a big fan right now.
Yeah. So the most recent Nintendo Direct, Nintendo talked pretty much all about ARMS. There was a recap that went down, and I watched some of the video. They showed off a lot of the newer characters, and like their abilities. But dude, like I am not excited for ARMS at all. I'm not excited for ARMS, man. I don't know why everybody's so hyped about ARMS.
You know what? I see the game, and let me tell you, I'm started this way. It's not a system seller for me.
Mm-hmm.
But when I get a Switch, I'll get this game because it's super interesting. It's super interesting. The fact that they actually have it's not just a Wii Waggle game, right?
Right.
Like the Wii Waggle game, the only difference between the characters was that they looked different, but everything else, everybody played the same. The fact that they actually took time, they took time to give a backstory. They took time to add customization options and the different powers, abilities. I mean, they have the light, the medium, and the heavy swinging and the speed and
the backstory is actually pretty fucking funny, but
it's hilarious. The fact that they went through all that work to put into the game and that is just not a Waggle game. There is some depth into it. Yeah. It has me wholly interested. I'm actually, I can't lie, I'm interested in this game. And it's definitely, once I get my Switch, whenever I decide to just pull that Switch, no pun intended, this is a game I'll get.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just not really interested. They're definitely trying to make ARMS the new Splatoon, or at least the next Splatoon, where you don't really get a whole lot of super competitive games coming out of Nintendo. Mind you, besides like Smash Brothers or whatever, like competitive sports games. But they are definitely taking this super serious. So they showed off a few new abilities, like new ARM types. They showed off I think it was like 1 or 2 new characters. 3 new characters.
Apparently, the girl, man, the black girl.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everybody's going ape shit over here. Freaking DeviantArt going out of control again. for that one character, I can't remember her name.
Then it begins with a TH. Thin. I can't think of her name now.
Is she thin? All right, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, she's thin in the right places.
Yes, it helps. But yeah, they showed off like the different like arm types. So you have like light arms that you can attack quicker, but they do less damage. You have the medium arms, which are like pretty much like overall like balanced. You have the heavy ones, which are slower, but can actually like deflect the medium and the weak ones if you throw them at the wrong time. So it seems like there's going to be a lot of strategy involved, which is really cool because you can also change
the elements
on the arms as well. So you have like a bunch of different elements like fire, electricity, wind, ice, sun, explosion, blinding.
Right.
So yeah, it seems like this is going to be a super competitive game, and I'm only like ragging on it because it looks weird. But if I get a Switch, I'll most likely be playing it.
Yeah, there's some depth to it, and I like I said, that surprised me. I'm thinking just like old good old fashioned Waggle Wii game, just what mash and do stuff. But this is a game that you're going to actually want to go into with some type of
just some kind of strategy, yeah.
Yeah, that's the word I'm for some kind of strategy. So
yeah. So it looks cool. They also announced that there's going to be a global test punch, which is like a beta. I have it up on the screen here. You can see the dates. So if you have a Nintendo Switch and you want to get your arms on arms, no pun intended. No, I was kidding. May 26th, May 27th, and May 28th are going to be the first 3 days. And then you have the June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. The times are listed on the screen right here.
And the game is coming out soon, less than a month away, June 16th, right? Or 18th. June. Dang, I have all of this stuff in my brain.
I don't know the release date.
Yeah, it's either the 18th.
Oh, June 16th. June 16th.
Yeah. Okay, it's June 16th.
Yeah, so you'll have 6 days to actually get your hands on it. And it's similar to what they did with Splatoon too. They had the global test fire and allowed people to just like play like a beta of the game and play online. So it seems like it's going to be super entertaining. And while I'm not like overly excited for it, it's not a system seller for me. But I'll probably end up playing it.
Yeah, I mean it looks fun. It looks like something that would be fun. And it looks like while it can get deep, you can get really deep into the strategies and how you're going to play. But it also looks like something you can actually pick up real quick and play, have a good time with it, and not have to, think about all of the strategies and counting frames and all of that other great stuff.
Well, yeah. Well, that's until the tryhards get their,
get their mitts on it.
Get their freaking like 20 hours in the lab.
Right,
getting like the ultimate loadout, see, and that's what the thing about these games are. It's supposed to be like these fun party games as far as the Nintendo ones are concerned, but then people just like, oh well, if I do this and only this, I can beat everyone, and then like everybody, just kind of just navigates towards that play style.
Right. Yeah, that sucks. I mean, that happens with all games.
Well, yeah. It's just it sucks when it happens to like these supposedly quote unquote these family fun.
Yeah, the lighthearted fun games, and I can see that's going to happen in this game because there will be online ranked matches. So obviously, when you get in those online ranked matches, you're going to have to play the meta, or you're not going to have fun.
Yeah, well, you're not going to have fun.
Or you're not going to have fun playing the meta, but that's the only way you can.
That's the only way you're going to win.
Right. So. It is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. So ARMS available June 16th. Yeah. Go ahead and pre-order, I guess. I don't know. I'm not getting it.
Yeah. No.
What was that character's name? Her name is Twintelli? Some shit?
Twintel. Yeah, Twintel. That's
Twintel, okay. Yeah, and they showed off like a robot dude bite and bark or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like a robot. He can like stand on his dog. Oh man, that guy's cheap as fuck. And then Kid Cobra and Helix, the little stretchy dude.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. If I play, I'm gonna play with fucking Min Min. Min Min's cool. Her arms are made out of noodles.
I think Ninjara. What's the Ninjara? The dude with the chain arms.
Yeah, Ninjara.
Yeah. He looks kind of cool.
Yeah, he does. He does look cool. I think all the cool kids are going to use him, so I'm going to use Min Min. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next segment. But before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, because that was our top 5 stories. If you weren't keeping track, that was 5 stories. And if you want to submit stories to us, do that via our social media. We will definitely take a look at it, and if it's worth it, we'll definitely talk about it on the podcast. But our sponsor, NewChallenger.gg, now supporting Injustice 2. If you are new at the fighting scene, you want to get good at Injustice or Street Fighter 5, this is the place for you, complete with coaches, with all of their schedules and everything. I'm navigating the site right now. I'm gonna go to Mount Lover's page. You can see his coaching style and his availability all on the site here. You can also go to the events page, which you can see all of the upcoming tournaments for the month of May. So you can enter into tournaments. A lot of them do have prizes for you. So yeah, go ahead and check it out, newchallenger.gg. You can also catch them on their social media, New Challenger TV. They have weekly content on their YouTube channel that is streamed live on their Twitch channel. And a big shout out to Mr. Vinegar, who is the founder of the Discord channel. And as always, our homeboy Mount Lover, who is a coach for Street Fighter 5 and is actively preparing to assist in commentating and coaching in Injustice 2 as well. So big ups to those guys. Go check them out and let them know that True Sonic sent you. And with that, we'll go ahead and move on to our next segment, which is the quick hits.
The quick hits.
So any story that doesn't make it into the top 5 news stories usually makes it into the quick hits. So we don't really go into like a huge deep dive. We kind of just, talk about it for a quick second, and then I'll give our thoughts about it. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into it. What's the first story that we got, Book?
The first thing we got is Killer Instinct and Xbox Live Arena. So basically what's going on is Xbox got a new update. And it adds Killer Instinct into Arena for Xbox Live. If you're not sure what that is, that's basically the native tournament system that's on Xbox.
Yeah.
The Xbox One at this point. So basically, what you can do now is you go into the Killer Instinct game, and you go into my words. you go into the from the dashboard, you can launch directly into Killer Instinct tournaments. You can sign up for them and such. You'll also be able to schedule tournaments for Killer Instinct with your Xbox Live clubs. So that's actually kind of cool. But this update, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago because I'm in the alpha ring.
Yeah.
The best part of this update is party chat overlay. So from now on, when you get into a party chat and people talk, you could turn on an overlay. You can configure where you want it on the screen, left, right, or middle, top, or bottom. And every time somebody talks, their game attack shows up. That is the greatest thing in the world, especially if you're like me and use a lot of LFG playing. Destiny, I do that on Destiny for raids.
Right.
So that's the thing. They added the Dolby Atmos app. Which if you have Dolby, they couple of updates ago, they added support for Dolby Atmos, which gives you the center high channel. I think it gives you center high and left and right high too, but it gives you an extra surround sound pipe. So you have an app to manage that now. And also now, if you're following anybody on your friends list or somebody that you're following, if they create a LFG post looking for group posts, you get a notification.
Okay,
so that's kind of cool too. That's worked for me. I've actually been just putzing around. I see somebody throw up a LFG for Overwatch or LFG for Destiny, and I jumped on and played with them. So
that's tight.
That's cool.
What's next?
The next story we have is ZeniMax. So the old dogs at ZeniMax, first off of their $500 million lawsuit went over, quote $500 million lawsuit went over Facebook or Oculus. They are now going after Samsung's Gear VR, And if you're unfamiliar, Samsung's Gear VR is a headset with some that uses Oculus Rift software, and basically you have to use it with the Samsung device, like a S6, S7, the Notes. You plug it in and you get some VR experience. ZeniMax is suing them, stating that they're infringing on copyrights and technology because they're using Oculus technology. The problem with that is the lawsuit that they won, the $500 million lawsuit they won against Oculus, had nothing to do with technology or copyright. It had everything to do with the founders of Oculus, Lucky Palmer and what's his Carmack,
right?
And there's another guy, I forgot the third guy's name now. But they want to file of an NDA. So basically, they broke an NDA agreement.
Right.
And that's where the lawsuit award comes from. It didn't come from the technology or anything like that, or copyrights, anything like that. So this is a long shot. I think this is just, I don't know. I don't know if it's a money grab, but if they're trying to go for money grab, going after Samsung is a bad idea because Samsung owns lawyers.
They got money.
Yeah, they got tons of money. I mean, if you think Samsung just makes phones and TVs, you are dead wrong, buddy.
Washing machines, like they make everything, dude.
Not even that. Like flash memory, like most of the flash memory and chips in freaking iPhones are Samsung. So I mean, they do a lot of stuff. That's tons and tons of stuff. They make tons of money. They have deep pockets. Maybe that's what ZeniMax is going after. But the way they filed the lawsuit, their win over Oculus is not going to help them here.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens because we reported on it when it initially occurred. So this is kind of like an update, and we'll see what happens later on in the future.
Yeah, we'll see. It's interesting that they took this tack, especially going after Samsung, who's been known to sue Apple. Or been fighting with Apple for years and years and years, and they've been fighting to a stalemate.
Yeah. 1
year Apple gets a few $100 million, then the next year Samsung gets a few. It's odd, but good luck, ZeniMax. I for one don't like this. I feel this is like almost to the level of being a patent troll, and it kind of sours me on ZeniMax, and it sucks that under ZeniMax are two great studios in ID and Bethesda, and most people won't correlate them, but I do.
Yeah.
So.
We'll see. All right, next up on the quick hits, man.
Yeah,
all right, so this, take this with a grain of salt. This is, fresh off the rumor mill, and it seems that Microsoft is trying to salvage Scalebound because just recently they renewed the license. So, take that, for what it is, but my hope is that they're actually going to try and do something with this because, man, we reported about we reported on this, when it actually happened, when it turned out. What's up?
I said they canceled it.
Yeah, when they canceled it, basically it came down to the point where Microsoft had basically just backed out and left Platinum Studios in the position where they couldn't continue because Microsoft owns the rights to the property. So with them owning the rights to the property, and instead of just like letting it expire or allowing somebody else to purchase it, they renewed it. So it could mean a couple things. Most likely, it just means that they don't want anybody else to have it. So they're just preemptively just like keeping the license under the Microsoft umbrella. But I don't know. People are hopeful, and I'm one of them because I was really, really excited for Scalebound when it was announced.
It looked good. The two pervasive rumors are, the first one is that the team that was working on it at Platinum Games is trying to salvage something out of it, and the other rumor is that Microsoft is going to try to revive the project from the ground up with another studio. So it's interesting to see where that goes. Again, nobody of note, nobody that was close to the project has commented or said anything. So take this rumor for what it is. I mean, it is what it is. They essentially they just renewed the trademark.
Right. Yeah, but hopefully they can turn it into something. I mean, it didn't seem like there was much more work needed to be done on the game. I mean, when we saw the final gameplay trailer, it showed off the multiplayer capabilities. So I don't know. I'm hopeful, man. I really would like to see something like this on Xbox, and right now they really need it. I mean, Xbox needs games, man. They need games to set them apart from the PlayStation.
Right, because what they've been trying to do is not working.
Right.
What they've been trying to do is not working. Is the overall experience that they've been trying to do. I mean, and this is just me personally, I'm in the minority. For me, I love the overall ability of the Xbox as an entertainment device. My centerpiece in my room, right? From the games to the other entertainment. But that's not what people want out of their console. They want that console to play great games and tons of them, and that's not what the Xbox has right now.
Yeah, so this is looking forward to a revamp or something to come out of this. I'm really hoping that they do. Because where Xbox has definitely been pushing the all-in-one system, Microsoft has Sony has been getting those exclusives.
Mm-hmm. And they've been all exclusive.
Yeah,
all exclusives, and they're not. I mean, it's not little stuff. I mean, you got
not at all. Neo, Nier,
Horizon, Spider-Man.
They have some that are still coming down.
Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, Street Fighter 5.
I mean, these are big titles, and these are titles that should also be on Microsoft's system, and they're not.
Right. So they're definitely going to need to do something to differentiate themselves, because a lot of people that have those, the multi-platform games, they're playing the games that their friends are on the console that their friends are on.
Right.
So, if a lot of people are just playing PlayStation because that's where the exclusives are, then the multi-platform game comes out. Okay, I'll get it on PlayStation because that's all my friends are playing on PlayStation right now.
That's
anyway.
where I play at. Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see. Hopefully they do something, because it looked like a really cool game. It's just with them bringing in another developer, will it be the same vision?
Right.
Will we get the experience that we were hoping for, similar to how they did that Metal Gear Rising Revengeance or whatever, how it was being developed by the original team, and then it was given over 2 platinum games, and it was like a different experience altogether.
Right. So fully different. Yep.
Yeah, it's different in every sense of the word. So
yep.
Hopefully we get something, but will something be better than nothing? I don't know.
No, something is not always better than nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Something is never better than nothing, because essentially if he's like, oh, I'm just going to get something, and that something is junk, is the problem.
Right.
So no.
Yeah, I was really confident in Platinum Studios.
Yeah, they have a pretty
good track record.
Track record, reputation, absolutely.
So we shall see. Let's go and move on to the last quick hit. What we got?
The last quick hit. So this is out of Google I/O. Now I bring this up. I know you're not a big fan of it, but I bring this up because it's interesting. This is where it should be. So Google has announced that they're partnered with HTC and Lenovo to make standalone VR headsets. And what we're looking at, so we talked about Samsung Gear VR earlier, where you need a Samsung phone to plug into it. And we all know about the current HTC Vive and the Oculus Rift and the PlayStation VR, where you need an outside box and you got wires hanging off of you like you're some science experiment.
Yeah.
Well, Google is a partner with Lenovo and HTC to bring in fully contained standalone VR headsets. All the sensors and computing power and screen will be built into the system itself, so you won't have wires hanging off you. I'm not sure how the battery life. I mean, they didn't give any specs on it at all, so there's no specifications. But I mean, they did talk about a lot of different things in these sets. As well, including motion trackers that will actually track your motion and put it inside your experience with you. So if you're walking, if you're leaning over, you're moving your head, it is going to track all of that stuff for you. So I think that's super exciting. I think that's where VR needs to go. Now they just need that killer app.
Yeah, I actually sat down inside of a Sprint store a couple of weeks when I was waiting for them to replace my damn phone. That's a story for another day. But while I was waiting, I actually did get to try the Gear VR, and it was pretty cool, man. It was pretty fun.
The Gear VR, that's something. If I had a Samsung phone, I probably would have a Gear because it's $100. Yeah. And in fact, they were giving them away with Samsung. They give them away with Samsung phones every year. Like if you wait for the right time, they'll give it away with the S7. They gave it away with the S6.
Yeah.
They were giving away with the Note before they found out the Notes were exploding. Yeah. So I mean, for $100, that's a low barrier to entry. It's you use it on your phone. That's kind of cool. I messed around with the VR in the Gear VR in the Best Buy one time. I used the PlayStation VR at the Best Buy, but like I said, there's no content in there that gets me excited about VR.
No, not at all. And so when you were relying on the App Store or the Google Play Store for gaming content, you're gonna be solely disappointed.
Yeah.
Because they have the handful of games that are cool for 5 or 10 minutes that they're displaying in the store, and then they have the games that are on the marketplace, and that stuff is garbage.
Right.
Primarily, I don't want to say it's all garbage.
Just to give you a bit of an idea of how it's working out, the best app for the mobile VR systems still stands to be Google Streets.
Okay.
So if you need to know, now you know. If Google Streets is your best app, it's a non-starter.
Yeah.
So
definitely need that killer app the same way that all VR headsets, the PSVR, it still needs that killer app. I really feel like Resident Evil definitely got a rise out of people. Definitely created a buzz, but it's died off. It's a singular.
It's a single game that was actually in a niche community because a lot of people aren't going to want to play that horror game.
Right. So, well, they'll definitely need to come out with something because I'm not even going to spend $100 just to play Google Street. I'm not going to do that.
Well, yeah,
that's not even a game.
No, sure it's not.
Yeah, it's not even a game.
Look at me. I'm in Paris looking at Paris pictures of Paris on my face. What? Nah. No, thank you. Yeah, exactly.
I'm good. And so that was our quick hits. If you would like to submit us a story, do so using the links down below. You can see we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and we are on Twitter. But if you're listening to the podcast on your favorite podcasting app, you can definitely leave us suggestions in the corresponding description area or wherever you can comment. The comment area, comment section.
Yeah, the comment section.
Yeah, you can do that as well. Leave us your feedback. Let us know what you think. But with that, we're going to go ahead and move into our our next segment, which is the long form discussion. And this is kind of where we go into a deep dive on any particular topic. And I kind of want to continue the discussion that we were having over the $60 experience. So for this week, have we been duped into paying more than $60 for a full game experience? What do you think, Boogie?
Short answer is yes. Absolutely, we have been. Sure, absolutely. I mean, you talked about Street Fighter when updates come out. If you want to continue to play with the ranked community, you have to buy the DLC,
right,
or you can't play with them. All of the games that come out now from Ubisoft, you got Watch Dogs, For Honor, they all have season passes. You get the Call of Duties has season passes. You get, I mean, every game has a season pass. That's one of the things you were surprised that Horizon Zero Dawn didn't have a season pass.
I was surprised. I was like genuinely shocked. I mean, it wasn't that it wasn't that. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like I felt like I was getting close to the end of the game, and I was just curious. I was like, "Yo, is there any more content after this? Like, is there any DLC?" And to my surprise, there's actually to this day there's been nothing
announced.
Nothing announced for
it. They did say, the developers did say that Aloy's story would continue, but they didn't say if it's going to continue in DLC or if they have a sequel in the works. That's what they didn't say. They just said they have more story to tell for her, right, which is exciting for me because that game is amazing. But at the end of the day, yeah, we are now paying $100 for games. And you don't notice it because you buy it a little at a time. They were smart to do it that way. It's almost like the pay to play games, where you start you get entry into the game and you gotta keep paying to play. I mean, Destiny is the same way. If you have Destiny, if you have the original Destiny with no other add-ons, you're shit out of luck because you can't play anything. You can't play. You can't barely even play PvP. I don't think. You can't do anything. You have to get the DLC content, and it's been like that. And it's been like that at least for the past 3 years. It might have been like that ever since the beginning of this. Since last generation. Yeah. I mean, every year you got your Call of Duties, and they give you 3 map packs, and they're $15 a piece. So you buy the season pass for $35. Same thing with Battlefield, Battlefront,
Gears of War, Halo. Like every especially in the shooter genre, it's become the norm. Yeah, where it's not enough just to come out with the game. And these developers, they'll finish a product, or quote unquote finish a product, but they're already working on DLC. The DLC.
They have dedicated. What they have now is they have dedicated teams that their job is to work on the DLC.
Right.
And they'll be developing it in parallel to the
actual game. Right.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about it. At one point, I like games that last longer, but I don't like this pseudo subscription model that they have going on here. It's just I think it's dirty.
Yeah,
it's kind of dirty and it's underhanded.
But what would the alternative be? They're definitely not going to get away with just increasing the base price of,
because nobody will buy the game.
Nobody's gonna go for that,
and they know that, and they also know that they're not going to release a game. So the bigger problem is, and we've talked about this as well, is not enough publishers. There's only not enough publishers, not enough big developers. There's only a few of them out there. Mm-hmm. And they're not taking chances on games. They want one popular franchise, and if they can support that popular franchise for 2 or 3 years with a smaller team developing DLC that they're selling for half the price of the game, $20, $30 every 6 months to a year, that's just more earnings for them. It's a great business model, but it's not a good model for us as gamers.
Right. Because it's like you pay the $60 and right out of the gate, when you open up the freaking packaging, like if you get the physical disc, they don't come with the manuals anymore. They come with a promo little sheet of paper telling you about the season pass, and that is what you need to purchase.
Exactly. Exactly, and it's disappointing. Like Injustice 2, I haven't bought it yet because, first off, I'm still on the fence as to I'm going to buy it. I just I haven't figured out which system I'm going to buy it for yet.
Yeah, that's
the first thing. But the other thing I'm on the fence is I don't know if I want to buy it without the DLC, and to buy it with the DLC is $100.
Yeah, I mean that was a main reason why I put down Gears of War, dude. Like each freaking map was like $5 if you didn't have the season pass. The season pass I think was like $50.
$9.99.
It's like, come on, dude. I'm not doing it.
$110 for a game. I mean, all the games are like that. Even Watch Dogs 2. I mean, great game. DLC is $35. I mean, if you bought the game by itself, I mean, if you bought all the DLC, it's $100. Like for Honor, I bought everything, $89.99. Mafia 3, I bought everything, $79.99.
You ain't even touched that game yet. I'm disappointed in you.
We're not gonna talk about that. But I mean, like Destiny. Over the course of me playing in that game for 3 years, so I paid $60 for the original. No, actually, I'm sorry, I take that back. Paid $90 for the original game because I bought the game and the 3 DLC packs, right? Okay. The first 3. Then the next year, another DLC pack came out for $40. So now I'm at $130 in. And then the next year, another DLC came back out for another $40. So $170 for the full Destiny experience. I mean, that's 2.5, almost 3 times what you actually would pay for a game. I mean, and in contrast, a game that we both played, I'm gonna talk about it again because it's one of the few examples of a full game for $60. Horizon 3. I mean, keep saying Horizon 3 because I'm thinking about Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah,
with $60, and to be quite honest, and unique content. I say unique content because Destiny is a grind fest, and you go back and do the same stuff over and over and over again. I can't tell you. I tell you what, one raid, the King's Fall, I've done over 100 times.
Okay.
So I mean, just to put that in perspective, there's nothing in Horizon I did over 100 times. Maybe kill one of the walkers.
Kill some guy killing fucking boars and foxes trying to get those skins, man.
But in original content, Horizon Zero Dawn has significantly more original content than Destiny did for $60. Even for at $170, I would say Horizons, if you go play through end to end, including playing just every raid one time, Horizon is up there as far as the amount of unique content, and I'm paying a third less for it. And the thing is, those games are far and few between.
Yeah, it's wild, man. Like, I haven't even, beaten the main story. I've been doing like all of the side quests. I've been trying to max out all of the gear, get all of the best equipment. And I don't know how many hours I've put into Horizon, but like it's such a fulfilling game. It's such a fulfilling game. So I was so surprised because you can get games like that, like your Skyrims and your Fallouts, which are massive in scale, and even without any DLC, you can pour hundreds of hours into those games. Like there's almost endless side quests, and For Skyrim, I put hundreds of hours into that game without even completing the main quest line.
Wow.
Right.
But the thing is, how long ago did Fallout 4 come out? 3 years now, right?
Yeah.
How long ago did Skyrim come out? 7 years?
Yeah.
6 years? So again, far and few between where you get those games for $60 that you can sit and put tons of time in there. Another game like that would be GTA 5, right?
Right.
That's another game that came out that you didn't necessarily have to get all the DLC to put a ton of hours and enjoy it. But
and a lot of the DLC that came with that game were like, just the online stuff. I think, did they ever come up with the story DLC? I thought that was a thing that they talked about.
I don't know.
I remember that being a thing. I don't know if it actually came out. I had been put the game down.
Yeah, I disowned GTA after GTA 4 because I didn't like getting text messages when I'm trying to complete missions. Fuck off, dude, cousin guy. I'm not gonna play pool with you.
Oh, come on, man. I can't remember his name. That guy was okay, man. I didn't mind. I didn't mind it, man. Everybody hated like going out on the dates and like being friendly to your comrades and shit.
That was I didn't need a second life with guns. Get with my face. I didn't want to be bothered with that. It drives me nuts. No, I was going through it, and the thing is, you ignore them, they just keep coming more and more and more. And I got to the point like, oh, this is annoying. I'm done. And they apparently they figured that out and didn't do it for GTA 5. But when I get done with stuff, I'm done. I move on. I find something else that takes the time. Time is limited, right? So if I find something and put it in your time slot, you just SOL.
Right. To kind of just like bring everything together, kind of wrap everything up. It's very few and far in between that I'm actually like fully satisfied with the $60 purchase, and I really feel like making games, making these season passes, making everything mandatory to get the full experience is taking away from gaming as a whole. It takes away from the experience as a player where you are not getting the full game for the initial price point. Like
exactly,
I just missed those days where you can get a full experience. Like when you had a freaking cartridge like on the 64, all of that. Like there was no like add-ons. There was none of that. You got the entire experience, and if you liked it, you played it again. Like whatever happened to replay value? Exactly. There's no real replay value unless it's like, huh?
The replay typically is in the PvP modes now.
Well, yeah, but as far as like a single player experience, there's really no replay value anymore. There's no like, I can take this route or that route or anything like that. It's like a single linear experience, and then you're done. But like there's like, there's gonna be an add-on here or an add-on there or whatever. Like I don't know. It's weird to me, and
like I said, it makes 100% business sense. I mean,
definitely.
They're maximizing their IPs and their content to make the most money they can. But again, it's detrimental to the gamers. I mean, like you said, there's far and few games in between. Another game that actually gets $60 support, I would say Overwatch. Overwatch gets great support.
Definitely. I
mean, the only thing you have to pay for, and it's 100% optional, are the loot boxes.
Right. Give me optional purchases. Don't make it mandatory for me to have the full experience. I got to spend, some money. If I were to pop in Gears of War right now, like there's like over, I think like maybe half the maps in Gears of War I can't play because I didn't put any money into it.
Right.
And oh god, Gears was it Gears 4? That shit is super fucking DLC heavy, man. You got the characters. They brought in loot boxes.
They got characters, loot boxes, skins.
Like I don't even want to play that game anymore. And it's not too just much. Because I'm bad.
it's just too much. I will say that if you haven't played Gears of War 4, get it and play the campaign because it is one of the best campaigns I played in the past 12 months.
Campaigns are dope, but as far as extended play beyond that, unless you got some bread, unless you got some money, buckets. Yeah. And then that's not even we're not even talking about like re-releases. That's another problem right there.
That's another long form.
Yeah, because then you got a game that came out. What it says Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I bought that game and all of its DLC, and then they re-released it for the Switch at full price. Like what?
Yep.
Stupid.
Yep. I mean they do that often too. I mean that's been a big thing. I think we should do a long form one just that because like lately, I mean, you got the Ezio collection and they re-released Skyrim and what else did they just re-release? Another 360 title that was.
Oh man, I can't remember. I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, so they re-released those games, or even worse, they give you the Game of the Year edition after a sap like me paid $170 for Destiny. Yeah. They released the Destiny collection for $70 or $60.
Yeah,
and it's the game with everything. I'm like, you know what?
This is fucking bullshit. Dude. Right. I hate that. Right. I hate that. Like I was super salty. Like after like 3 months with my 3DS, then they dropped the price. I was like, you bitches.
Early adopters, man, you get burned.
Yeah, you get burned.
But I always say, and I will always say, if you enjoyed it, if you absolutely enjoyed it, is money well spent, right? It's your money, it's something you enjoy, that's fine. But it's just that the way we're being nickeled or dimed as gamers is becoming a bit outrageous. I mean, the worst is Activision. Not only do they have DLC packs, the season passes, then they want to also throw in loot boxes. God damn, how much money do you want, leave my pockets alone.
Yeah. I gave you $60. Let me play the damn game.
Right.
Damn.
Give me something.
I think all in all, what I'm trying to say is go buy Horizon Zero Dawn. It's a fucking great game. And we're gonna go ahead and close out the long form there. Let us know what you guys think. I mean, what's the last game that you played for $60 that you were totally satisfied with without have to add in any money? Let us know.
That you felt you got the totally full experience of the game. I mean, not one that you say, okay, I played this game and it was great, but I'm not gonna buy the DLC. But just one game that you played through it, you paid $60 only, and it felt like you got everything you wanted to get out of that game.
Right. Yeah. Let us know down in the description, your thoughts on that, and we'll go ahead and move into our final thoughts, which is when we go back and revisit the stories for the week and give our last 2 cents on it. I'll go first here.
Yes.
Second. I have to put the thing in. All right. Anyway, so final thoughts. Definitely still excited for Sonic Forces. Basic the bunny is Basic the rabbit coming. Basic the rabbit coming real soon, and I'm really excited about any of the IPs that are gonna be resurfacing from Sega. Oh, we talked about it a while ago that they're they're trying to make like Netflix series out of like what was it, Streets of Rage and Golden Axe. Yeah, so with all of this like reviving old IPs, the road to 2020 for Sega is looking pretty bright. I can't wait to see what they do with that. Really excited about the Ubisoft announcements. I could say that I'm a fan of the majority of the titles there. With Far Cry and Assassin's Creed, I'm really excited about Assassin's Creed. I want to see what they do next, and I want to see how they innovate in a series that has been going been a yearly series until just last year. So I'm really excited for that.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and break down right here. I'm probably gonna get ARMS just because it'll be the only game to play besides Splatoon. Because Zelda. I mean, I don't even know if I'm gonna get Zelda, dude. That just seems like a game that's just too massive in scale for me to want to jump into. I still got 3 more open world games I need to beat. I don't think picking up another one is gonna be a good idea. So it'll be ARMS and Splatoon. Those will be my 2 Switch games. And as far as Scalebound is concerned, I really hope that Microsoft does something with it. Either come up with another, some kind of a new deal with Platinum or any other, studio, and make it happen for the people that were excited for that game.
Right, like you said, Microsoft needs a win as far as some kind of exclusive content, because they're just getting killed. They lost the Call of Duty exclusive content. Destiny's exclusive content is gone. Then you got exclusive games like Horizon, and you got Nier, and you've got with Neo, and you've got Spider-Man, and you've got, I mean, we can go on and on and on about all the exclusives. What's the game we did the plays on? Dreadnoughts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they got all of those exclusive games, and now you can get some of these games on PC, but still, as a console, if you're not a PC gamer, the console you want, if you're not a PC gamer and you're only going to get one console, the console you're going to want to get is a PlayStation, because that's what all the games are.
Right.
There's nothing on Xbox that's really a must-have outside of Gears and maybe Forza. Games. Yeah, maybe Forza Horizon. I mean, other than that, every other great game on Xbox you can get on PlayStation.
Right. What else? Your final thoughts.
My final thoughts are Sega Forces. I'm excited. Sega Sonic Forces. I'm excited. I'm excited about the customization. I always like customization.
What's your character? What's his name gonna be?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Boogie the Bunny. All right, let's go.
Boogie the Bunny. That's it. Boogie the Bunny. But I'm gonna go ham on the customization. I'll probably spend at least a good hour.
Well, it depends on like the options that they have.
Depend on the options.
They show like a brief glimpse of the different options. I think the species that you could go is like rabbit, wolf, bear, hedgehog, and like cat or something like that.
But yeah, I'm definitely going to spend an inordinate amount of time customizing my character. That's for sure.
We'll see.
I'm excited about that. I'm super excited about Sega bringing back some old IPs. Again, stuff like Streets of Rage, Vector Man, Golden Axe, Altered Beast.
Yo, freaking fingers crossed for Vector Man. I need to look up who owns that guy. I don't know who owns him.
There's a ton I would love to see come back, and I'm super interested. I wonder if they don't own Shenmue anymore, do they? Because I know there was.
They released it to Yu Suzuki.
Okay, so
they released it to him, so that's how he's able to make Shenmue 3.
Yeah. Okay, and then Destiny 2. I like what I saw in the demo. It didn't scare me away. It wasn't. It stayed enough the same for me to recognize what it is. But I'm not gonna really form an opinion until I can actually get my hands on it. Right. I mean, I've pre-ordered, so I'll definitely get the beta. And once I get my hands on it, I'm going to keep my pre-order. I'm going to cancel it. We'll see.
Okay.
I like Ubisoft, their aggressive stance on their IPs. I'm interested to see what this new IP is. But yeah, Ubisoft has been making waves. Their games have been pretty good. They've got a couple of missteps, but I mean, they've released some good games. I mean, Watch Dogs 2 and For Honor are a pair of my favorite games, even though For Honor is kind of crappy, and that's not the game's fault, it's the community's fault. But the game is a good game. And I like where they've gone. I like how they're getting there.
Right. They're getting there.
Yeah. Yeah. Live CSGO events, like I said, esports is really blowing up. It's becoming big time. It's going to be mainstream sooner than we think, I believe.
Yeah.
And ARMS, when they first announced it way back at the original Nintendo Direct in January, when they showcased when they first outed the Switch, I was like, get the hell out of here, another Waggle Wii game.
Yeah.
But just looking at what they showed at ARMS Direct, I'm super interested, and it's definitely a game that I will buy. It's not I will buy it when I get my hands on my Switch. It's not a game that I gotta go get my Switch because I want this game now. It's that when I get my Switch, I'm also going to get this game.
Yeah, agree.
The new Xbox Live update, I cannot stress this enough. Party chat overlay. Thank you very much. ZeniMax, good luck. I mean, it's not a good look for you.
No, not at all.
Scalebound, like he says, Microsoft needs a win. They need to do what they can to get this game back into greenlit again, and back into some sort of release coming out sometime soon.
Right.
And the standalone VRs, I'm actually much more interested in that than I am in any PSVR or any HTC Vive or Oculus Rift. One of these guys is something I'm interested in, and I may grab a hold of if it's not overly expensive, just to have around and see what it's like. But that's where I stand on that. I know Microsoft actually has a couple of $299 AR VR headsets coming out. One is by Asus, and I want to say the other one is HP. Those are coming out sometime this year too. They're $299 headsets, but they're the OG type ones where you got to wire up to a PC or outside device. So I mean, at those prices, I like those price points. About between $200 and $300. I like that price point. $400 I think is a bit too much. Especially with the PlayStation VR, where you got $400 just for the thing, but you also got to get the Move controllers and PSVR, the PS camera. So that adds essentially about extra $75 to $100 to it. But I mean, for $200, $300, I'm interested in that.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm still like on the fence when it comes to VR. I mean, it's cool in concept, but I think it's gonna die out really soon.
Yeah.
Unless they find that killer app.
Like I said, I'm looking at it along the lines of motion controls.
Yeah.
It had a lot of hype. A lot of people were super excited about it, but nobody.
A lot of people spent all their money.
Yes, a lot of money on it, but the developers really did. Even though Nintendo and Microsoft, not so much Sony. Sony kind of was like, we're kind of doing it, but we're kind of not doing it. But Nintendo and Microsoft were all in on it.
Yeah.
Even though they gave a lot of support for it, the developers just couldn't figure out how to use it.
Right. And keep players compelled to get out of their fucking seats. I mean, it was cool in some instances, like you said with what was that game?
It was actually just
on the 360. It was on the 360 where you can like call out attacks on Mass Effect 2.
Oh yeah, Mass Effect 2. Yep.
Yeah,
and then
cool.
on Madden, you can
call out your plays.
And little known on FIFA.
Mm-hmm.
And in NBA 2K, if you cussed, you got a card or a tech.
What? Oh, that's funny.
If you're playing the game, he's like, "Oh, fuck that!" You get a tech, or you get a card. It was hilarious because I found that out on accident. I was playing 2K, and I think they called me for a foul or something happened. I was like, "Oh, that's some bullshit." And it's like teed up. I'm like, "What do you mean teed up?" I'm like, what? It's like, what? But yeah, that was kind of cool. I actually like little stuff like that, but you can do that without the big camera, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, if you have like a headset, I think what was that game? The Alien Isolation. If you had on a headset, it would detect your breathing, and then the alien would get you or whatever.
That's awesome. Turn the headsets off.
Yeah, no, I never played with the headset on. I mean, he already got me easy enough. You hear my like heavy ass breathing, fucking catch me that much quicker. I never beat that game. I still own it, man. I'm on the chapter 1, 6 minutes of gameplay. I'm never gonna beat that game. It's too fucking hard. I don't get it.
Speaking of Alien, are you gonna go see the movie Covenant?
I want to. Vanessa's not really interested, so we'll see.
I want to go see it, but I don't know. I have to find some time.
Yeah,
we want to see it though.
Yeah, it looks good. I've seen some people that weren't really happy with it. Like I haven't read it or looked at any reviews, but like I've seen like thumbnails where like, oh god, this movie sucks. And I was just like, whoa.
That's always the first thing that comes out in any movie. And the movie comes out, the first thing you see are negative reviews because people are hateful bastards.
Yeah, people are hateful. But yeah. Well, let's go ahead and that was our final thoughts. Let us know what you think on any of the stories that we spoke on today, including the long form. Let us know what you think down in the corresponding comment section of wherever you're consuming this media. Or you can hit us up on social media. Speaking of, we are on Twitch. We are on Twitter at AWGamingNS. We are also on Facebook. We are a weekly gaming news show. You can look us up by the call letters AWGNS. And we are also on YouTube. The link is down in the description, and make sure that you subscribe because we've actually been putting out some pretty cool content on there. Boogie has been doing his weekly 10 and 10s, and I've been trying to get together with some friends of mine to record some different type of gameplays and like first impressions. I really got a good response from the first impression video that I did from for Prey.
Yep.
So if you guys enjoy that kind of content, I'll do my best to try to put more of it on. I have one in the works, but yeah, let us know what you think down in the description and give us some suggestions. We are definitely open to those. But yeah, speaking of the favorite podcasting apps, Boogie, why don't you go ahead and let them know where they can listen to it?
You can find us at your typical podcasting places. If you have a podcast catcher, my words tonight. I don't know. I haven't even drank anything.
Boogie, tongue tied right now.
You can use any podcast catcher. We are in the general podcast directory. You can search us by A Weekly Gaming News Show or our call letters AWGNS. We're also on iTunes, Google Play, and TuneIn Radio. Go to those places. Go pull up our podcast, subscribe, comment, rate us. Let us know what you think, what you'd like to see, what you don't like hearing, and we'll work on implementing or removing those type of things from the show.
Definitely. And before we head out, I just want to give another quick shout out to our sponsors, the homies over at thenewchallenger.gg. Go ahead and head over to that website if you want assistance in getting good in both Street Fighter V and Injustice 2. There is a link at the top left corner where you can actually join the active Discord, which is full of a lot of enthusiastic people and players that are all about enhancing their personal game in the related fighters. So if you go to the website, you can also see that there's a list of coaches. You can see the games and characters that they play the most and have the most knowledge on, and look at their schedule and set up an appointment so that you can get some one-on-one or group coaching. You can also sign up for tournaments that usually do have prizes as well, and yeah, just test your abilities. It's all up there for you. Check them out on their social media as well. They are on Twitch. New Challenger TV is their Twitch name. Their Twitter name. They changed it not too long ago. But yeah, so that has been episode 49 of A Weekly Gaming News Show. We appreciate you tuning in. And next week is number 50.
Yeah, episode 50, man.
Episode 50.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been going.
That's
going strong,
half a
man.
century. Look at that. Doesn't seem like it, but man, that's some good work.
Yeah. We put in some good work, and we had some good times on here. So look forward to our next episode, which is going to be next week. We go live on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
2300 UTC for all you Europeans out there.
Right. And the episodes go up the next day at noon on YouTube and on the podcasting app.
Right.
So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and bounce up out of here. Again, my name is Trenell.
I'm Todd.
And we will see you guys next week.
Peace out.